Welcome to The Abundance Journey, the show that helps spiritual entrepreneurs create an abundance mindset that accelerates revenue. Here's your host, the Abundance Ambassador, Elaine Starling.
You know, it's funny. I was recently meditating and I got a really interesting insight. What if abundance isn't something you chase, but something that you align with? It's something that you embody first and then you experience it. What if who you are being, what you're embodying, is actually abundance? How does that change your life? How does that create opportunities for you and for others just because you are showing up in your truth as your authentic self? What does abundance in action really look like? Well, then I got to meet Laura Sawosko. Oh my gosh, Laura's amazing. She's a Nashville-based singer-songwriter and a multi-instrumentalist. In fact, she's got her 6th album that just came out. It's called Not What I Do, and it's destined to be a big hit for a really specific reason. Laura is a storyteller through song, creating music that combines raw vocals with relatable and vivid imagery. She's got all the credentials. She's a member of the National Songwriters Association International and the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. She was one of the chosen qualifiers for the Tennessee Songwriters Series. Her career includes performances at iconic venues like the Bluebird Cafe, the Listening Room. She's opened for major artists, Edwin McBain, Sarah Buxton, Michelle Branch. But the key is to really look beyond the physical realities, because Laura is about so much more than that. It's about the way she lives her life to fully express who she is. Laura has a passion and a commitment to vulnerably share her truth in a way that enriches others. This is abundance in action, and it's why I'm so honored and so grateful that you could join us today. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm so excited to chat with you because a lot of us don't really consider our day-to-day lives as a form of abundance, that self-expression as a form of abundance. So I'm really excited to explore this with you. And in order to do that fully, I want to make sure we combine our energy. So we're going to do 2 things to make that happen. The first thing is we're going to take 3 long, slow, deep breaths together. And as we breathe in through the nose, think the words I am. And as we breathe out through the mouth, think the word consciousness. And I'll remind you when we get to that part. Then after that, I'm going to share an intention. An intention, I'm pointing at my heart, is what we choose to create and how we choose to feel about it. It's kind of like typing into a spiritual GPS, because it's not like Laura and I have a script. We're winging it. I have a few questions, but we're just going to see where it goes. By setting an intention, we make it really clear to the divine, to the God of your understanding, this is where we choose to go in our spiritual GPS. So please lead us to this destination. And then we can let it go. We don't have to stress over it. Now, the challenge here is that after I share the intention with you, we are going to hold it in silence for 78 seconds, which can feel like an eternity, I freely admit. However, it's really important to do that because that 78 seconds is long enough for the God of your understanding to lock in to that new vibration that you're after so that we actually experience the intention. So there's 2 things that I do that really help that 78 seconds go by a lot faster. I'll pick 2 or 3 words out of the intention that just feel uplifting and expansive and enriching to me. And I will repeat those words over and over again in my mind. And that helps me establish that higher vibration. And then I notice what's happening in my body, the goosebumps that show up, the sense of expansiveness that I feel. Those are just signals from the divine that, yes, they've locked in and now it's time to play. So, Laura, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Awesome. Let's take a moment to take 3 long, slow, deep breaths. Let's breathe in, I am. Breathe out, consciousness. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out consciousness. Breathe in, I am. Breathe out consciousness. In love and light, we hold the intention that we embody and express infinite divine love through every thought, every word, and every action, celebrating each moment of our existence as the abundance it is. Thank you, Divine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done. We give thanks, and so it is. Wow, that was really cool. There was a lot of energy around this one, especially for me. It was interesting. Laura and I were chatting before I started recording, and I just started crying. I felt so much energy, and it's really interesting. You know, we cry when we're really upset about something or when we are so filled with joy, there's nowhere else for the energy to go. It has to come out as tears. And I really felt that. I felt the delight, the wonder, the excitement that we are willing to celebrate and live our lives as abundance. What was that experience like for you, Laura?
It's calming, and it's just getting ready to share. For me, my faith in Jesus Christ, it's the gifts that God gave me. Without those gifts, I wouldn't be here today. So it's also gratitude.
Oh, big time. Big time. It's so interesting you said that because I really picked up on that too. It was like celebrating every experience as abundance. What does that do? It puts you immediately in gratitude. And I'm always telling people gratitude is the ignition switch for higher consciousness. Gratitude is the acorn of your abundance tree. Everything you want truly starts with gratitude. You want a great relationship? Be grateful that you have a connection, right? Everything starts with gratitude. Now, Laura, you are so passionate about what you do, so committed to what you do. It's not necessarily tons of money in the bank, but what got you started? Why are you so passionate about sharing your life through song?
Music has always been my best friend since I was a young child. I was infatuated with the piano when I was 6 years old and asked my parents for piano lessons. And I know that's very unconventional because a lot of students stop playing for various reasons. It's not cool. They want to play sports. And for me, it was never that. It was all music. Don't ask me about sports. I don't know anything. But I mean, it's just been everything for me. It's been my therapy, my friend. And then as you grow, you learn that you can share that with others. In the beginning, it was all for me. It was my comfort. And then it was like, wow, I started to write songs, and now I can share that with the world. And that's what excited me. Now, don't get me wrong. When I first started in my 20s, it's like, ooh, I want to be rich. I want to be famous. I want to be like so-and-so. And then now I can honestly say, especially with this last album, Not What I Do, my intentions are 100% pure to just inspire. And if I can touch just one life, then the entire album was worth it for me.
Wow. Yeah, you certainly did touch my life this morning because you have this amazing free gift. I'm not going to give it away, but it's one of your songs. And I listened to the song before we started the interview, and that's what started the waterworks. My husband came in, he's like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "It's a really cool song. I love the song." But yeah, it's amazing what happens and all of the things that influence our lives, and how ironic that sometimes the biggest challenges, the biggest crisis can end up being food for inspiration.
Well, exactly. I mean, it hasn't been always easy. I was born with one functioning vocal cord, and I didn't know why I couldn't sing or project my songs until I was about 21 years old. So imagine having these songs to sing, and I can't sing them because my voice would become kind of like a whisper of sorts. So now it's like, why, God, why did you give me this gift of music if I can't share? So that was very frustrating, and having other singers try to translate what I wanted. And although they were very gifted and talented, I just knew that I had to sing them myself. So then I had the surgery to move the paralyzed vocal cord in closer for more sound. So I love this. You can't really see it, but this scar upon my neck, I love, because it's just gratitude for my voice. I'm never going to be a Celine Dion, but who is? But, it's like, I'm grateful for my voice. And that took a long time to not only get my voice, but then to be grateful for it, even with its limitations.
And I so admire you for saying that. I really appreciate you bringing that in, because often what we think is a fault or something wrong with us is a gift. It's something to treasure, because fortunately you had that experience. I know it was very challenging for you, but the beautiful thing is it gave you a very unique, rich sound. Your voice, to me, I don't have good words for this, but it's a little, the word that comes to mind is scratchy, but that's not right. It's like the contrast we experience in life is in your voice. And so it brings a depth, a richness to every word that a standard singer just can't give it. And also, there are some really famous singer-songwriters out there who have challenging voices, shall we say. And maybe you don't always love the sound, but because they are such incredible songwriters and their sound is so unique, it really separates them from everybody else. Now, there's a question that I ask every single one of my guests, and I never get the same answer twice, which I love, because this is a really cool question. Given what you do and the passion that you feel for creating these stories in your song and sharing them, how do you define abundance?
Abundance for me is touching as many lives as possible. And I love what you said in one of your podcasts, that you said, when you give, you receive. So in me sharing my music, I receive. And for me, that's abundance. And it's worth more than any money or any award.
Yeah. And another thing that I noticed, and I'm putting words in your mouth here, so you feel free to correct me, you have the opportunity to look at the world in a different way, because most of us will have an experience and go, okay, well, that was an experience, and we move on. You have an experience and go, where's the song in that, right? And so you look at it in a different way, and you turn it around from different perspectives, and you create something that is uniquely yours through the words you choose and how you express it, the tune that you put behind it, and it becomes something unforgettable and something very moving. That's abundance.
That is abundance. Yes. The ability to create, that is abundance. And I'm so thankful for the gift of music and songwriting. I love writing lyrics. I think that's my favorite part of songwriting. And so, like you said, it's kind of like a puzzle in my head. And whether it's grief, like when I lost my father a couple years ago, it's tapping into that and embracing it. And so when other people might just move on and say, okay, I'm done, I don't want to talk about that, that's when songwriters come in and it's like, all right, we'll take it from here. And that way I can touch people. Like, for example, a woman told me yesterday that I know that she lost her father suddenly. Well, I have a song on this next album that's about that. And so I'm so happy that I get to share that link with her today and say, please listen, and I hope this touches your heart. And so that's the whole point. I would think for most songwriters, that's what they would say. And it might be my specific story, but it's very universal truths, to be honest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so
Not
funny.
like
Well, we think that we're so unique and we're so different. Nobody could possibly understand what I've been through. Well, of course, we have different experiences, and yet we have very similar emotions. And the stories you're sharing through song really help us accept that emotion and process that emotion in a healthy way, right?
I mean, I know what it has done for me and various artists. I listen to music every day, as do most people. And there's certain artists that always touch my heart. And I go from laughing and dancing to one song, the next second I'm crying my eyes out. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? But that's the power of music.
Yeah. Yeah. I love
so that's
that.
what this album is. I have, some ballads, but then I also have some faster songs on the album. They'll hopefully perk you up and make you laugh. I love bringing humor into my songs as well. And I didn't realize I could do that until recently. I was at a Brandy Clark concert, never heard of her before. I mean, incredible songwriter in 2021. And I'm like, oh my gosh. It was like a boxing match where it was like another great lyric. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I was like, wait a second, I can bring my humor into this. So it was just bringing everything of myself into this album like I've never done before.
Oh, that is awesome. I can't wait to listen to the whole thing. That one sample song was enough to really, really turn me on to the whole thing. Now, I want to chat for a minute about, we often hit challenges, right? There are common symptoms that people have to deal with, the ups and downs of life. What do you find? What kinds of things contribute to the best songs, the struggles that create the best songs?
What are the struggles that create the best songs?
Yeah.
I mean, all of them. I mean, whatever is relatable to people. I mean, on this one, for example, yes, it's grief. It's loss of a loved one. I just think where there's powerful emotions, you're going to have powerful songs. I don't really like to scratch the surface. So another one is Where I'm From, and it's called Home. And so I think that's a powerful song and people can relate to it because we all, well, most of us, love where we're from. But it's just sharing other people's stories. I'm trying to think of my song, Not Your Reason. That's about abuse in a relationship. And so it's like, that's a powerful song right there because it might be a subject matter people feel uncomfortable about talking about. And so this way we can all kind of realize that we're, not alone in something.
Yeah, that's so important. And I know that you have had your ups and downs in your career. Turning songwriting into a profession is not something that is easy to do.
It's fun.
So I find that whenever I want my external world to change, I have to create some kind of a shift inside me. There's an internal shift that allows that transformation to happen. What do you think is key for each of us to have that transformation occur?
I would have to say 100%. It's just honesty. You can't live an authentic life unless you're honest. And I was never honest before until, again, recently, until this album, where someone's like, Laura, when you hide these facets of yourself, you're not doing yourself a service. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to have to be honest about everything from who I love. I've always been honest about my faith, but I never had a spiritual song on my album until now. So it's like, I just wanted to bring everything in there. And Yeah. And not box myself in, not into a genre, not into anything. Cause I'm like, wait, why would I have a Christian song on my album if I'm not a Christian artist? Well, I am a Christian artist. I identify more as Americana country, but it was just bringing everything into it. So yes, living an honest, authentic life is so important.
Oh, and it's really funny because we're afraid of showing who we are. It's funny. I use silly voices a lot. And I would always kind of beat myself up for that and think, oh, well, you should be much more professional than that. That's not appropriate. Well, no, people like it that's my reality. That's who I am. And when you can relax and show who you are, warts and all, and just own it and just say, yeah, this is my reality. This is who I am. And here's what life means to me, right? Here's how I witness the joy, the beauty, the love. This is what I'm grateful for in my life. When we show up that way, we give everybody else permission to be silly and playful and fun and happy too, right?
We are a mirror. And I find this over and over again. I might be having a frustrating day. I go to the grocery store and all of a sudden I'm like, God, everyone's in such a bad mood today. Well, it's a reflection of what I'm giving them. And so when I'm with my mom, who's one of the most abundant women people I've ever met, I mean, she'll go to the grocery store and she'll be like, oh, Sally and her 3 kids, I got to pray for her and this. And I'm like, who's Sally? She's like, oh, she checked me out the grocery store. And I'm like, how do you know all of this about her? Me, it's like, thank you, have a good day. And then I move on. So, I mean, she just is an incredible example of that reflection of what you give, you receive. So
true. And it's really interesting. Unfortunately, please and thank you seem to have gone out of favor in our common everyday interactions. And I say please and thank you a lot because to me, that is an expression of gratitude and acknowledging the value that I witness in the other person. And that, go ahead.
Another thing that I find that's missing is eye contact. It's like a lot of people have their heads down. And even if I'm on a walk around the block, I see somebody outside, I want to make eye contact, I want to wave. And a lot of them just have their head down. And I mean, people in Nashville are really, friendly for the most part, but I just think we've become very closed off. And
it's so interesting. I live in the country too. I'm outside of Sacramento, California, near where gold was discovered. And everybody in my neighborhood is on 10 acres. And so I go out walking in the morning on a dead end road, but there's no sidewalks. So every time a car is coming and they're off to work or taking the kids to school, my walking buddy and I step to the side of the road to give everybody plenty of room. And I always like to wave to send them off with love and blessings wherever they're going. Well, a few weeks ago, I'm out walking and I'm waving at the car and I can't even really see who's in the car because the light's hitting the windshield just right. And I don't know, I'm just waving. And I felt this rush of incredible love and appreciation for the people in the car. It was just so intense and pouring through me to them. And I got to witness that. And I was like, dang, that's really unusual. And I felt the people in the car pushing back. And at this point, they'd already passed me, but I felt them pushing back and going, how can you love me when you don't even know me? And something spoke through me back to them energetically that said, I must love you before I can know you. And I really see that that's what you're doing through your song. You are sharing the love in your life and what you've witnessed, what you've experienced, the blessing that you are through your songs.
Well, thank you. That's the goal. And that's what I'm trying to do. And it's difficult as an independent artist because you don't have that music machine behind you. I mean, I've witnessed that machine in various artists that were playing at a dive bar. The next thing you know, they're at Bridgestone Arena and, to thousands of people. I don't have that behind me. I have, my faith. I have a great support system. And independent artists, though, we wear lots of hats. I mean, I could be a website designer. I'm a roadie. I'm a producer, you name it. I'm a videographer, photographer. And so, but I think that's even brings more authenticity into my projects because it's just more of me. And so we also have more creative freedom as an independent artist. Once you're with a label, it's like you're doing this, 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 and all of a sudden you're a puppet on a string. And so I'm grateful. And when it's difficult, I've just been very mindful this year and during the release of this album to just love music and never stop loving it. Because if I stop and if I quit and if I no longer love music and I resent it, well, then I've lost. And so, I mean, I make sure I dance every single day and I'll put on silly music, dance around, and I will, just love music. I'll listen to other artists and say, oh, I love that song. I love her voice. I love his, lyrics, and just embrace it and not resent people for their success, but say, wow, if they can do it, wow, I can.
And thank you so much for sharing that, because one of the messages that I received from the divine, I know you call this Jesus Christ, I call it the divine. I was shown that, have you ever seen parents with a little bitty baby that's pre-verbal? And they're constantly going, honey, do you want your binky? No. Do you want your bottle? No. Do you want your blankie? No. Well, when you see something that is something you would enjoy, just know that the God of your understanding is saying, darling, would you like this too? And when you're able to say, wow, how awesome for that person, that just feels amazing that they got to have that experience. I'm going to feel it in my body with them, celebrating their experience. That is what the divine wants for you, because then you're showing, I'm committed to having that too. Sign me up. I'll have what she's having, right? And it comes for you. It unfolds in perfect divine timing. You get to hold that vibration, choosing over and over again, yes, I am a popular singer-songwriter, just like, and I'm hanging out with all these people on my stereo at home and going to concerts and opening for these acts, and it opens for you.
Oh, I've never had so many doors open, since this album, where I think it's this shift in my mindset and just everything and just being myself. And the songs just came so freely when you are yourself. And it was something I've never experienced before. So I'm like, wow, this is easy. Now in this town, most songs are written by 3 to 4 artists. And so for me to do all the lyrics, all of the music, 100%, that was, a challenge. I didn't have anyone to bounce it off, any ideas, or sometimes you get stuck with a lyric and I'm like, oh, I'm in the shower, I'm thinking about it. I go to bed, I'm thinking about it. But then, it eventually comes. So I'm very proud, yes, of all these songs. And I just can't wait to see how they're received, and I'm not going to get upset if, I just, in terms of success, I don't think it's a lot of windows, I don't think it's a lot of doors opening. It's just baby steps. Some people think, oh, what was that one moment? And they ask the artist that changed everything. And they think it's this giant door opening. It's not, it's baby steps. It's a lot of little windows opening, and it's just staying in the game. Because a lot of people, this is a transient town. People come, people go. So it's like, will you stay? It's not always a big fat no in your face. They don't even listen to your music. You're getting ghosted on a regular basis. And so it's like, someone you love not talking to you. It's just constant silence. And that's the hardest part for me.
Oh man. Yeah. And it's so beautiful when you can go into the silence and go inside, because there's that dichotomy, right? It's so tempting to be externally referenced and say, well, if they aren't calling me back, if I don't get the feedback, then I don't have value. But in reality, we are continually reminded to go inside, witness the divine essence within ourselves, and honor ourselves for who we are being, that authentic, real person. and then sharing what we're feeling, sharing those emotions, sharing the frustration. Because trust me, we've all had experiences where we worked really hard on something and we really wanted people to be excited about it, and crickets, right? It's very frustrating. So there's a funny song in there somewhere. Yeah, one of my favorite songs, country song, and I don't remember the name of it, but I think it's called Me Neither. And it's this guy who's trying to ask a girl to dance, and no matter what he says, she's like, yeah, no. He's like, yeah, me neither. And it's just really funny how he shot down and shot down and shot down and shot down. And that was probably some poor guy who was working on a song and he was sick of getting shot down, but we've all been shot down, right? So I want you to help us walk through with one or two little baby steps. When we hit the wall, when we get to that point, like you're saying, I'm so committed. I'm not giving up on songs. I'm not giving up on music because this is my true expression of who I am. What do you feel are one or two little baby steps that we can take to go back and regroup and acknowledge who we truly are?
For me, during those moments of silence, I keep little journals in my phone of compliments and things that people have said that were positive. We tend to remember the bad. So even like last night, I added something. If somebody says something nice about my music or about me in general and just my journey, I have it. Now it's just pages and pages of kindness. So if I'm having a bad day, I look back on those positive reflections. And it's like, wow, all of a sudden I feel like a rock star again. And so I think people can journal these compliments or, nice things people say so they don't forget, because in those times of silence, that's when you need them. So that's one thing that I do. And like you said, be grateful. I mean, I might be having a bad day and I'm stuck in traffic, and I'll just say out loud by myself, and I'm like, well, people don't know I'm not on the phone or something. I just talk out loud and I'm talking to God, and I'll say, thank you. Thank you for this car. Thank you for this job that I'm sitting in traffic to go to. Thank you. And so I think by just saying it out loud and we hear it back, it means more than if I just verbalized it, inside, internally.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The more you can get more senses involved, because saying it out loud, it vibrates your body. So you really feel it in a different way. You hear it. You can see it if you can see yourself in the rearview mirror, right? There's a way for you to experience the gratitude in a deeper, richer way. I love this idea of pages of kindness. And, one of the little tricks that I like to do, couple of things. I project what I choose to experience into the mirror of the universe, and nanoseconds later, it reflects back to me. So I usually tell people why I do this before I do it. I will say, I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed. And I don't know what I'm about to be happy about or grateful for, or what the blessing might be. I just am putting that into the mirror of the universe. And then the next conversation I have, oh my gosh, we're laughing out loud so hard. And I have an experience to be grateful for. And there's some little nugget, some little insight, some little blessing that comes through for me in the next second. That is an incredibly powerful experience. And the other thing is, I love that idea, pages of kindness. Be kind to others. Total strangers. Wave, say hello, good morning, buy a cup of coffee for the next person in line. Simple little things that you don't even see the look on their face when they get the coffee, right?
I
the kindness. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I agree. Because I was thinking, when people get stuck in their life, and I have some friends that are stuck, whether it's addiction or whatever it is, I think it's because they're just looking into themselves too much. Look out. I mean, there's happiness when you help people. So, if you're having a bad day, if you're depressed, go help somebody. I mean, there's somebody worse off than you. So take the focus off of yourself and onto others, and you will be joyful. I promise.
So true. So true. And if you really want to be joyful, check out Laura's free gift. It's going to be available through the show notes. So make sure you go to the show notes, because she's given me a link to a fabulous new song called the songwriters. And like I said, I love this song so much. I was listening to it before we started the interview, and I kept crying because it was so moving to me. It was so beautiful.
Well, thank you. And that song is from my album, The Songwriters, which was in 2019, but I didn't have everything ready of the new songs to share. So please check out that album. It is one of my favorites too, but that is a gift to everybody. It's one of my top 3 songs that I have ever composed. And
tell us a little bit about why you wrote this song.
And I wrote this song when I was done. I was done with music. I was done being shot down. I'm like, I have a college degree. I graduated cum laude. I could be making money. I could be doing something else. But I always come back to, no, it's music. That's what God put in my heart. So I was like, that's it. I'm writing a song so everyone knows what it's like to be a songwriter. So I wanted everybody to know, I've been a waitress. It's all of these other side jobs. And that's what it's like. And then I put down my pen and paper. That song came pretty fast. I sat at my kitchen counter, and then I kissed my guitar and I kissed my keyboard in dramatic fashion. I said goodbye. Then I went to bed. And inevitably, that song was what opened more doors for me in music. And I stayed in the game. So
I love it. I love it. And I can't wait to get a hold of your album too. I want to make sure that I get a link where we can get your album, because I don't have that yet. So make sure you send that to me, and I'll make sure that is in the show notes too, because this one's a keeper. And Laura, I really want to thank you for embodying what abundance looks like. It's not easy, but being the truth of who you are is such a priceless gift and so valuable to all of us, valuable to you and valuable to all of us too. Now, one of the things we always do here at the Abundance Journey, we love to turn the tables on our guests, because we know that when we give is when we truly receive the most. What's something that we can do to support you?
Well, thank you again. I appreciate it. Unfortunately, everything's numbers these days. So it's like, to get to the next step, it's like a video game. You have to have so many likes, etc. So please follow me on Instagram or check out my website where all the links are, laurasawasko.com. So you can watch videos. So just liking my videos, liking my Instagram, sign up to my YouTube channel, anything like that would be extremely appreciated.
Absolutely. And all those links are also in the show notes.
Thank you.
Wow. You have given me a real challenge here, Laura, because you were brilliant. The things you shared today to you might seem simple, and yet they are so profound. And you really are a beacon for how to live as abundance. So thank you so much for showing up today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh man, stick around. I got to pick just one thing. But I'll figure it out. We're going to activate abundance in just a moment. Man, I just feel so honored that we got to chat with Laura Sawosko. This lady gets it, right? She's living her life, and this is abundance in action. That's what it looks like. That's what she embodies in every moment. Step one, when we activate abundance, is always gratitude. That's what connects us to the abundance that we're looking for. And how awesome to have a fabulous role model like Laura. She's not this massive big star yet. You saw her here first, but she's in her everyday authentic self and showing us the real rough, raw, what it looks like in her day-to-day life and how she turns that into abundance. And that means you can do it too. If you can see it, you can be it every time. So, wow, what a treat that we got an incredible conversation with Laura. Step two is to acknowledge something you heard that was an aha for you. Well, I'm cheating a little bit because I'm doing a combo. She said two things that were just, it really hit my heart. One thing that she said was use your own voice. You can try to give somebody else the assignment to be you. Doesn't work real well. You're the only one who can be you. And your voice deserves to be heard. It needs to be heard. And you are continually urged to share your own voice. Why? The second thing she said, God put this in my heart. Your voice is there for a reason, because God, the God of your understanding, wants you to be your true, full, authentic self and share your life and what you are witnessing, what you are experiencing. And when you can turn that into an interesting observation, right? She's able to twist it and go, hey, this is really humorous. And how silly that these situations happen to us. This is really traumatic. And how can we honor and respect and show the love that is actually hidden within the trauma of losing someone we love? She's able to turn it into something much more profound because she uses her own voice and recognizes that that voice was a gift from God put in her heart. I've been choking up through this entire interview because I am so filled with joy and appreciation and love for this conversation. So step 3 is to appreciate the difference it can make in your life. Well, obviously, when you can own your voice and show up as your true authentic self, warts and all, and you just savor being who you are, unapologetically, acknowledging who you are, how you think, your perspective on life, and showcasing the blessings within, wow, you turn everything into a blessing. You see how that works? Instantly, hey, presto, you've turned every single experience into a blessing. The biggest challenges in life are fuel for your creativity. Yeah, you're living abundance. Step 4, we're going to activate the abundance. I found 3 different ways that I make this happen. The first is to schedule time to get it done. Now, for me, that looks like journaling, because if you don't schedule time, you're never going to do it. But it's really powerful. Like what Laura was saying, capturing the kindness so that you've got pages of kindness and what you can look back on when times are tough. Because trust me, when you don't believe in you, there are a lot of people who do. They see your genius. They witness the love pouring through you as you, and it changes their life. So when you can't see the genius that you are, and you're hovering on the edge, take the time to journal and capture the kindness. And remember that that's the truth of who you are. Recognize your own abundance. The second way to activate abundance is to use a physical trigger, like crossing your fingers or tugging on your earlobe as a reminder. Wait a minute. I can take this moment and turn it into abundance. You can use the 5 steps to activate abundance, which we're going through right now, or you can just go, hey, there's a blessing in here somewhere. I can capture these thoughts. I can capture these ideas. I can share them with others and get a whole new perspective on what's going on. There's a blessing in this moment for me. I choose to activate that blessing with a physical trigger, like crossing my fingers or tugging on my earlobe. And that gives me strength. It gives me power. It connects me with the God of my understanding so I can take action from a much more empowered place. The third way to activate abundance is to work with what I call an abundance buddy. Most people call them accountability buddies, but I'm all about abundance. So this is somebody who really gets you. They know you, they understand you, and they are willing to acknowledge when you are out of alignment with who you say you choose to be. So when you tell them, hey, I am going to use my own voice because this is the gift God gave me, and I'm committed to using my own voice. They'll point out when you're holding back because they know you and they love you, or they'll make space for you. It's like, hey, share the story about that you were talking about, because that's so interesting and people need to hear that, right? We need that support structure. So work with an abundance buddy who loves you and believes in you. Step 5, celebrate your progress. This is abundance in action. This is you living your life as the abundance that you are and the blessing that we all get to enjoy. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time for the Abundance Journey.
You've been listening to the Abundance Journey Show with Elaine Starling. Visit theabundancejourney.com/podcast gifts to access today's gift, as well as gifts from our other guests. Tune in every week to activate abundance in your life and business. If something resonated with you, please share it with your friends so they can benefit too. Keep activating abundance, and we'll see you in the next episode.